Hello, hi everybody. Today is the 3rd of April, and as always, we're gonna tell the pain story. This pain story changed a lot of people's life and shed light into why something happened to our life and how we can create or manifest our dream life in a very certain way. So let's get started with it, okay? What is this? It's a pen. What do we use a pen for? To write. Now there's a dog inside the room. I'm gonna read this info. The dog, what does the dog do? The dog probably will sniff, lick or chew the street. Does the dog see this one as a pen? No. So for the dog, this one is not a pen, but for the human, this one is a pen. So who is correct, the dog or the human? The answer is both are correct. For the dog, this one is a chewing toy, but for the human, this one is a pen to write. The dog is correct in the dog world, and the human is also correct in the human world. So that is our first lesson. Both are correct. Now let's imagine that there is a table in front of me. So I'm going to put this thing on the table, and then both the dog and I will walk out of the room. So inside the room, there'll be no human, no dog. What does this thing become? It is still a pen or chewing toy. It becomes almost nothing, neither a pen nor a chewing toy, right? And the ancient wisdom called this one as the emptiness. The emptiness is actually a very magical definition. As we understand the emptiness, we'll be able to achieve anything in our life. Just like you see Michael Roche apply the emptiness into his business. I was able to build business with a revenue of $250 million a year. He's also able to help several refugees. So what is the emptiness? Why is that so magical? Let's go back to the pain story, okay? So this clinically on the table where there's no human, no dog, nothing to interact with. It comes back to truth, and we call it the emptiness. So the emptiness is not nothingness, it's not blackness, darkness, or no feeling, no thinking. The emptiness is just ourselves when we doesn't interact with anyone. So each and every one of us, human, animal, plant, and trees, object, we all have the emptiness. But then back to the pen story again. What is so magical about it? So now, this thing, as soon as I go back into the room and I look at this becomes a pen. When the dog comes back to the room and the dog look at this becomes a chewing toy. And when both the dog and I come back to the room at the very same time, and we both look at this at the very same time, what does this thing become? It's become two things, a pen for me and a chewing toy for the dog. So a single thing, when there's no human, no dog, nothing to interact with, it comes back to just that we call the emptiness, right? But then that very single thing, have multiple potential, become anything or anyone, depending on who or what is looking at this at the very moment. And it can be multiple things at the same moment, or with the same person or same thing, it can become different thing at different moments. Okay. So that is the magical of the emptiness and the potential. And that is also our lesson number 2. Um, Along with the emptiness, we all have limitless potential. Now, I see this as a pain. So does this pain coming from me or does this pain coming from within itself? This pain is actually coming from me. Why am I so certain? Because if the thing is the pain is seven, the job or anything in this entire universe, we have to see it for what it is, which is a pain. But does it see this one as a pain? No. So this pain is actually coming from me. This pain is actually coming from my mind, and everything is actually coming from our mind. So that is our third lesson. Everything is actually coming from our mind. Now, we all agree that this pain is coming from my mind, right? I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to believe this one become diamond. Okay, so please pray with me. Diamond, diamond, diamond. Open my eyes. It's still a pain. So what in my mind that forced me to see this as a pen but not a diamond? There are seed inside our mind that the ancient wisdom calls karma. When we see something, the seed inside our mind pop up, open up, and color this, and made us see it for what had been planted earlier into our mind. So who planted those seed into our mind then? Only you can plant the seed into your mind, and only I can plant the seed into my mind. How can we do it? We do it by 3 ways: by word, by actions, by thoughts, especially to other people. So for instance, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to say that I have a pen. Would you like to have this pen? And when my friend say yes, please, I'd be so happy to give this to my friend. But I hope I can help my friend. So when I do this palm opened up in both me, my friend will see it, it started to mark in my mind. A couple days later, when I see this, I recognize this one as a pen, which means that the seed of the pen is already planted into my mind. And I pop up, open up, and color this, and maybe see this one as a pen. And this is how a pen become a pen or anything surround us become what and who they are to us. In the pen story, there are several meaningful lessons. Today, we went over 4 different lessons. The first lesson is both are correct, so we learn to respect each other's opinion, we learn to respect each other's choices, and we learn to listen to each other with a compassionate heart. And I think that one is very, very important lesson for us. And one of the tips I take for myself that I learned from and know is that, before you react, take a step back, take a deep breath, and then start thinking. So that will give you a brief moment to start considering all the factors. The second lesson is, along with the emptiness, we all have limitless potential. So trust your potential, trust the potential of everything. So everyone is around you and trust the potential, whatever happened to you. And then that one is actually with that, the tip that I've been doing right now is that, I've been telling myself that whatever happened to me at this moment is the best thing that can happen to me at this moment. It's really, really helped me to improve that. And then the third lesson is everything is actually coming from the seed, and that my soul will be 100% responsible to whatever happened to us. We don't blame anyone because in the end, we are the only one who can plant the seed into our mind. So, with that one, it's also another way for us to think about that is that we are the only one who can change our life into whichever direction that we want it to be. And the final lesson is that how to incorporate those lessons into our life so that we can create or manifest our dream life in a very certain way. So first, you have to know what you want to achieve in your dream life. Using lesson number 2, the emptiness and the potential. And then after that, we start planting the seed using our word or action or thoughts to other people. So if you want to have happiness, then plant the happiness seed in, using your word, your action, your thoughts with other people, helping other people to be happier. If you want to have prosperity, then use your word, your action, your thoughts with other people to be more prosperous. If you want to have wisdom, then use your word, your action, your thoughts with other people, helping other people to be more, to be wiser. And just like that, whatever that you want, making sure that you use your word, your action, your thoughts with other people, helping other people to get that. And the lesson that I would like to share with you all today is that, so there are something happened, and then when I was telling this pastor, and I was kind of not very happy about it. But then I kept thinking. The thing is that I kept thinking about it, and the more I think about it, there's still until I've been telling myself this thing that happened to me at this moment is the very bad thing that happened to me at this very moment. But sometimes when I think about it, of course, I still feeling unsettled about it. And then when telling this pain story, there's something just coming to me right now. So it's just how I see it. Whether I take other people into consideration, and then how I see it, whether I see it as a good thing or bad thing, is all up to me. So if I change, if I be able to change my perspective, I would be able to see things in a much better way, and then I would much better. I will have a much better feeling about it. So it's still a process, though. See, so everything is still a process, a learning process. And I think that is another reason why we had to tell the pain story 2,000 days or even more, so that we just keep telling it, and then we move into that direction. So telling it one day doesn't mean that you absorb all the story, all the lesson. But when you successfully learn one lesson, improve, applied it into your life, doesn't mean that you already mastered that lesson. It's that things will keep evolving, and then you will help to evolve to keep up, and then get so that there'll be different angles, there's different aspect as well as perspective to it. So thank you so much for listening to me today. Thank you, Amber, for coming in the 3,000-day journey. And if I may share with you the pain story of my lesson, something good, I would like to dedicate that to my dearest family, to my friends, to my co-workers, to my neighbors, to my ends or to any of the things in this world, any other words with love, wisdom, and gratitude. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.